All right, guys, enough goofing off. We're gonna get the dialed Arxos sight nice and sighted in. So as you can see here, I don't know if that's shown well on the camera, but on this sight comes with test tape. And so on the test tape, I use number 1 as my 20 mark. So I know my top pin, because this is the 3-pin vertical, the top pin is 20. I'm gonna go scroll. So first, the way that I'm gonna get sighted in is my top pin is my mover, right? So I'm gonna scroll to about 5, and I basically just walk back to 60, sometimes 80. I don't have time to go back to 80 today. I'll come back and verify the sight tape later, but I'll go 30, 40, 50, 60. I'll shoot 3 arrows at each spot, get a rough mark here on the test tape. And then once I've done that, I go and I take the test tape, and I'll show you all this back at home, but I take the test tape and line it up with the best sight option, the sight mark option on their the sight tapes that come with the sight. And so this is how I do it for my sight. For the 3-pin vertical, I use my top pin as my mover, and then I'll come back and verify, and then we'll get into moving the pins right here, the markers, in accordance with the other 2 pins. We'll get into that in a later episode or later video, but today it's just simply how we're getting our marks on our test tape to be able to then go back home and find the right sight tape. Now this right here is the Victory HLR. This is going to be my main hunting arrow this year, 300 spine, and these arrows are coming in at about, I want to say it's 420, somewhere between 420 and 430. I don't have that memorized. Maybe I should. Either way, let's get this sight dialed in. Pun intended. So I know my top pin, my top marker is at 20, so I'm going to unlock it right there with the lever, and then I'm going to scroll down to the number 5 with that pin there, and we're going to take our first shot here at the target. So I'm actually right on at 30 yards. That makes it a little boring. So again, I usually just estimate at 5. That's what I landed on here. I'm going to take another shot just to verify. Now I'm shooting at the morel target, so I'm going to pick different dots so I'm not breaking arrows. Yep. So essentially, it's flying great, just I'm a little to the right, and we'll go down and verify that, but here's how you adjust the right and left. It's toolless, which is awesome. So you unscrew that knob right there, and then so if you go counterclockwise, it moves the sight to the right. I'm going to start with 10 clicks to the right there. Lock it back down, and then I'm going to go check my arrow. We'll be coming right back. I do want to remind you, we are giving away a 65mm spotting scope from Leupold. No purchase necessary to get entered, none whatsoever. Simply subscribe, drop a comment down below on this conversation, any questions you may have throughout the conversation, and use the link, get entered, so that I can know how to contact you. We will be doing a live giveaway on that when we hit 6,000 subscribers. So no purchase necessary. Win an amazing spotting scope worth about $1,000. You are going to love it. It's amazingly clear glass, their new Gen 2 model. Really excited about that and grateful to Leupold for giving that. Okay, so, and then I forgot to mention this awesome quiver. I love the push quiver. Awesome. Magnetizes so your pocket doesn't get punctured, etc. Got the release in here. Probably put my rangefinder in there, to be honest with you, instead of in my pocket. But there we go. Okay, rangefinder's in there, MKC knife, and then a handful of arrows. So 30 was the 5 mark, so now I'm going to bump it to the 10 mark and go from there. So I scooted the sight over to the right. I'm going to go to the 10. And assuming it goes the same way it did last time, I will be right on target. But let's see. Boom. Right there. Let's look at that again. Right there. All right, making this a little too easy. So now we're going to scoot back to 50 and get our sight marks. So let's do that. All right, now we're back at 50. The 50 mark is right there. Shoot another 2 arrows. What I'm doing again is just dropping another 5. Here we go. Right there again. It really is just about 5 every 10 yards. So we're gonna go back to 60. We're gonna get our mark at 60 and then be good to go. Now again, this is a rough estimate. This isn't the final sight tape. So the way I do it is I get this rough estimate, put a sight tape on it, then I get more marks as I come back out here. I'll go out to 100 plus, do another one. And as I want to be more and more dialed in, the more I shoot and the better marks I get, whether it be new strings getting broken in, whether you're getting used to a new bow, more reps, whatever it may be, you're going to want to check and check and check again until you can repeat over and over again with no wind and the same conditions, that sight tape. So let's go get our 60 mark. All right, guys, so essentially on that last one, I actually scrolled down to 14 and it was still just a touch high and a touch to the right. So again, to adjust it to go to the right, I'm going to unlock it here on the Pruf. You unlock it there and then you twist counterclockwise. Did another 6 and then lock it down. And then here, since I only dropped it 4 last time and I was about on target there, I was right in that white dot on the morel target. I'm going to drop it 4 again and see how that goes, because the speed that this arrow has coming out of this bow is allowing it to not necessarily lose or increase the gaps. It's actually kind of keeping the same gap as we get further and further away. But we're going to see now with 60 how these HLRs fly. All right, let's see what we got. Let's make this one count, right, guys? Every shot counts, every shot matters. I think that's right there. Let me, I don't have my binos on me right now. See if I can check in the rangefinder. I think so. I'm gonna go down there and check and grab my arrows and then I'll be right back. All right, so that one Well, the wind's starting to pick up, so I'm gonna kind of cut this a little bit shorter than what I wanted to. I don't want to be sighting in the wind. That one was a little low, but it was left and right, it was great. So I'm gonna scroll down to about 20 and see how that goes. So 20 on the sight tape here. So again, 30 yards was number 5 there. 40 yards was number 9. 50 yards was number, what was it? Number, let's see, number 9 for 40 yards, and then 14 for 50 yards. So we're going to try 20 for 60 yards. Okay, that's still a little low. But it cut it in about half. So I'm gonna go 22 for 60 yards. Let's see how this goes. 22 for 60. Wanted to go on me. Way high, but I pulled that one. That was the wind. Wind snagged me on that one. So now those are going way high. So I think we're gonna stick with 21. See where we're at there. Last arrow of the day, and I got a jet. Hopefully you guys can hear me over this wind. Money. Okay, we're going with 21 for 60. And that's a rough estimate. We're gonna get more dialed in later in a different video, but I got a jet, I gotta do dad things, and I needed this sight tape in for literally tomorrow. We have a little bit of a competition. It's gonna be a fun shoot for me, because competition was actually today. So I'm gonna go fun shoot with this bow. Just wanna get some sight marks for that. Really excited about it. This AX2 is shooting fantastic. The draw on it's amazing. I'm gonna get into this bow a little bit later in a different video, but there's roughly how I do my Pruf sight with a 3-pin vertical. We'll continue showing you guys how we get it done in future videos. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we have our sight tapes, and this is the test tape I'm talking about here from Dial that I was telling you about earlier. Comes with a big stack of tape. So if you remember, I had my 20 was the 1-dash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. And usually, actually, I cut this so I can see it directly. Let's see here. Need more of a hard cutting spot. So I'm going to roll this back here. Cut this flat like that. Hope some. So I'm just trying to get as close to those dashes as possible, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. Probably should just use my paper cutter inside, but oh well. Okay, this will do. Maybe. And Trying not to engrave lines into my table, but I'm not cutting through good enough. There we go. All right, perfect. Toss that. Okay, so now that I have, it's not very straight, but the lines this way are straight, so they'll line up. So I'll take, let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit more. There we go. So I'll take this number, line it up with the 20, and then 5 was 30. So I'm going to go down these sight tapes until I get 1 is 20, 5 is 30. So see, I went too far there, if you could see that. Let's see here. 1 is 20, right there. 5 is 30. And then 9 was 40. So see, this one's closer to 10 being 40. So now I need to move back up again. So 1 is 20. This is where you get really nitty gritty here. 5 is 30, okay? And then 15 was 50. 20 was 60. So that one's lining up with 21 being 60. So this one right here is my sight tape, and that is number 6. Let's see, I'm too zoomed in now. Number 6. So now I'm going to take this, peel that off, just like so. Later, again, I'm going to go through and verify all of these, but I'm going to take this right about there and roll it on. I want it to be as straight as possible. I chose the gray. Let's see. Oh, I was doing it off the camera. Sorry, guys. Trying to video this and get it straight at the same time here. My eyes are playing tricks on me. There we go. Okay. Try and keep no bubbles in there. Nice and flat. And there you go. Then you'll take this screw on the one that's currently on my dialed sight, unscrew that one, put this one on, line the top pin up with 20 because my top pin is 20. And then I should have good enough marks to shoot tomorrow at this. It's a little 3D event, nothing too crazy. And then I'll go back out and verify this. If I need to change 1 or 2 things, I can. It's not that difficult, but that's how simple it is to at least get started on getting your dialed Pruf sighted in.